प्रपन्नाहं सदा श्यामा गुरुपादारविन्दयो तस्य प्रेरणया तस्य दिव्यादेशं वदाम्यहम्। अहो चित्रमहो चित्रम् वन्दे तत्प्रेमबन्धनम् यद्बद्धं मुक्तिदं मुक्तम् ब्रह्मक्रीडाभृगीकृतम् करारविन्देन पदारविन्दम् मुखारविन्दे विनिवेशयन्तम् वटस्य पत्रस्य पुटे शयानन् बालं मुकुन्दं मनसा स्मरामि। यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रणोति तस्मै तद्ब्रह्म देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। Dear devotees, please join me in a couple minutes of Nam Sankirtan. After that, we'll continue the series on why do devotion to Radha Krishna. Bhajo giridhar govinda gopala श्रीमत युगल सरकार की। Yesterday I began this series on why do devotion to Radha Krishna by first answering the question, why do devotion to God at all, to any form of God? And the answer is that God is the best of everything. And we, being divine souls, want divine happiness. We want the best. We don't want just good. We want absolute perfect happiness. And that is only God. And God is willing to give us that happiness. And He does give that happiness through His grace. But that grace is only received through surrender. And surrender has to happen gradually by practicing devotion. So this is why we do devotion to God in general. But why specifically do devotion to Radha Krishna? So yesterday I started to explain by talking about who is Shri Krishna. And you learned that Shri Krishna is eternal. Even His name is eternal, and His name means Swayam Satchidanand, the personified form of divine bliss, knowledge, and existence. He is Supreme God. He is the creator and maintainer and destroyer of the universe. And He is the one from whom all the forms of God emerge and in whom they reside. He is Avatari, and all the avatars come from him. He is Swayam Bhagwan. We learned that Shri Krishna has 3 forms that he takes. Bhagwan, his loving form, Paramatma, his almighty form, and Brahm, his formless aspect. So we left off yesterday with me explaining that these 3, Bhagwan, Paramatma, and Brahm, they are not 3 distinct entities. They are none other than Shri Krishna. To understand this more fully, just take one example from the Bhagavatam that's actually used as an analogy. Naradji one time decided to come down and visit Dwarika, the city of Dwarika. So he was descending from Swarg. The citizens of Dwarika saw him very far up in the sky. Chayastvisha. They looked up. Oh, there's not. Well, they didn't know it was Naradji. They saw, oh, there's some bright light in the sky. Chayastvisha mityavadharitam pura tatah shariri tivibhavita kritim vibhur vibhakta vayavam pumanitik Kramadamun Narad Ityabodhisah. So at first they didn't know it was Naradji. They just saw in the distance a bright light. When he came closer as he descended, then they could see there's some shape within the light, but they couldn't make out who it was. And when he came all the way down, then they recognized Munnarada Ityabodhisaha. Then they knew, oh, it's Naradji. This is like Brahm, Paramatma, Bhagwan. So the same Naradji was experienced in 3 different ways by the Dwarika Vasis. Naradji from a great distance. They couldn't make out any aspect, any characteristics, any form. That's like Brahm. That's like experiencing Krishna from a great distance. Then he came closer. They could see there's a form. So Krishna in his Sakar Roop. But they couldn't actually recognize him. So in other words, there's no personal relationship. That's like Paramatma. And then he came all the way down. Oh, it's Naradji. We know him. That's like Krishna, Bhagwan, Shri Krishna. And as I mentioned yesterday, although all 3 are one, just like those weren't 3 different Naradjis, it's the same Narad, experienced 3 different ways. Bhagwan, Paramatma, and Brahm, although they are one, they're experienced through 3 main types of bliss. We call that bliss, or Anand, Brahmanand, the bliss of formless God, Aishwaryanand, the bliss of Almighty God, Paramatma, and Premanand, divine love, the bliss of divine love of Ram and Krishna. So these 3 types of bliss also aren't separate, but their experience is different, just like Guda, Chini, Mishri. Guda, you all know. We call it jaggery in English. The unprocessed dried juice of the sugar cane with the molasses still mixed in. So everything is still there. If you refine that, you get chini, sugar. And if you further refine the chini, you get mishri. You know those little cubes you get in the prasad sometimes? That's the sweetest that sugar can get, that mishri. So the mishri and the chini and the gura is not 3 different things. It's the same thing, but further and further refined. Similarly, Brahmanand is unlimited absolute divine bliss, but that same bliss is further refined and enriched as the bliss that you would get by getting the vision of Almighty God, Vishnu, Shiva, Durga, we call Paramatma. So that Aishwaryanand is further enriched. Just like if you go to somebody's house and they offer you chai and they put guda in your chai. And you taste, because guda has a very distinctive taste, you taste that, oh, they didn't sweeten my chai with chini, they put guda in it? That's a little odd. Then, if somebody just puts chini in your chai, you think, oh yeah, it's good chai, it's sweet, it's normal. But if somebody puts mishri in your chai, then you think, oh, this person is really showing me a lot of respect. So these three are the same, but different. So that bliss, it's the same Brahmanand, but with more, what can we say, more layers of flavor, more excitingly enriched, it becomes Aishwaryanand. And that Aishwaryanand is further enriched as Premanand. So the Premanand is the highest form of bliss, the highest attainment in the divine world. And that is given by Shri Krishna, Radha Krishna. Okay, so now we've understood basically about Shri Krishna. He's Supreme God and he gives the supreme form of bliss in the divine world. And he is not separate from other forms of God. He is those other forms when he's not revealing himself in full. That's why he's called Purnatam Purushottam Brahm. Purushottam Brahm, supreme God, the supreme personal form of God. Then why add Purnatam? Tam, when you add it on the end of something, it's like saying, so you can say Purn, that means whole. You can say Purnatar, tar. That means, well, how can you have more than whole? But somehow if you add tar on the end, it means even more complete. And if you add tam, Purnatam, it means the absolute complete. So Purnatam Purushottam Brahm is none other than Shri Krishna, because he's revealing the absolute, complete, and totalness of himself. All his powers, all his qualities, everything fully revealed in the Swayam Bhagwan, Shri Krishna. And in his other forms, as Ram, he's slightly concealing his Prema Shakti, his power of divine love, or you could say his Madhurya, that quality of sweetness, is slightly restricted. As Paramatma, Vishnu, for example, he has completely concealed that Madhurya. And as Brahm, all of his qualities are inactive or dormant. So Shri Krishna is Purnavatar and he is Purnatam Purushottam Brahm. But who is Radha? That's the next question. That question is both very easy and very difficult to answer. Yeyam Radha yascha Krishno rasabdhir dehe naikah kridanartham dvidha bhut. Just like there are certain sections of the Vedas just for Shri Krishna, there are certain sections of the Ved for describing about Radha. There's a whole Upanishad called Radhika Upanishad, or sometimes it's called Radha Upanishad. So this Upanishad tells, who is Radha? She is Krishna. So if you understood who Shri Krishna is, you know who Radha is, because she is Krishna. Mamaiva paurusham rupam gopika janamohanam. Brahma Vaivart Puran explains further by saying, actually it's a quote from Radharani herself. She says, Mamaiva paurusham rupam. My male form is the stealer of the gopis' hearts. In other words, Shri Krishna. So Radha is Krishna, Krishna is Radha. Whatever is Radha, the same as Krishna. Whatever is Krishna, the same as Radha. They are one, but in two forms. Why do they exist in two forms? To do leelas. Kridanartham dvidha bhut. They exist dvidha. They exist in two forms. To do krida means play. To do playful leelas. So we first of all, see, this is the easy part. Who is Radha? None other than Krishna. She's not someone else. Krishna himself in his female form is Radha. Radha herself in her male form is Krishna. Shri Kripaluji Maharaj has one Pad Kirtan that highlights this oneness between Radha and Krishna. In that he describes a very sweet and amazing Leela. That one day Radha and Krishna were sitting in a Nibrit Nikunj. The Kunj is a beautiful place just protected from above. Kind of like, you know, that big, huge oak tree we have down near the creek by the basketball court. That huge oak tree. So imagine maybe 3 or 4 of those big, huge trees together, creating a nice sheltered area underneath with flowers and flowering bushes and nice lush grass. That's a type of kunj. So Nibrit Nikunj is a special type of kunj where only Radha and Krishna go. So they were sitting in this kunj. And from outside, the gopis were admiring. Oh, just look, Radha and Krishna are sitting in this beautiful kunj and they're talking to each other and they're laughing, and sometimes without even saying anything, they're just talking by glancing at each other with their eyes. So gopis were admiring from just outside the kunj. Then something amazing happened. Both Radha and Krishna had the same thought at the same time. And this was a very interesting thought. Krishna, he thought, you know, Pyari does man many times. So many times she's done man. Man means when Radha, this is a very high divine state. So as an expression of that Premanand, sometimes Radha behaves annoyed with Shri Krishna. And then later, they kind of get reunited. And it creates a very exciting Leela. And it's just an expression of the love between Radha and Krishna. So Krishna is thinking, you know, Radha has done man so many times, and whenever she does man, I go and try to please her, do pranay, I try to win her heart again, I try to do something or say something to make her forgive me. It's called manana. मैं मनाता हूँ हर बार जब भी मान करती हैं. So Krishna is thinking, wouldn't it be nice to have Radha do that to me? Meaning, अगर Radha मुझे मनावे तो कितना अच्छा लगेगा. So Krishna thought, today I'm going to do man. Did he have any reason to do man? No. When Radha does man, she has some reason, like Krishna was late, or Krishna did some naughtiness. She has some reason for going into man. But today, without any reason, Krishna just thought, I want to do man. And then Radha will come and have to do manana with me. But as Krishna was having that thought, Radha had the very same thought. She thought, I'm going to do man for no reason. So at that instant, both Radha and Krishna, although they were sitting like this, they turned away from each other, like this. But since both turned at the same time, neither realized the other was doing man. So Krishna is turned like this, and he's waiting that, okay, Pyari is going to say, Pyare, what happened? What's wrong? What did I do? But since Radha is also turned the other way, and she's thinking Krishna is going to ask her what's wrong, neither one is saying anything. So because of that, both actually went into man. Krishna is saying, it's my very first time doing man, and she doesn't have she's not even polite enough to come and ask me what's wrong. And Radha is thinking, every time I do man, Pyare comes and tries to please me. What's happening with him today? So both actually became annoyed with the other one and went into a real state of man. And both stood up and walked to opposite ends of the kunj and sat down, pouting, doing man. So gopis were watching from outside the kunj, and they became mystified. What's happening? What happened? They were sitting so happily, and all of a sudden they just turned away from each other and went to opposite ends of the kunj, and it looks like they're both upset with each other. So some gopis went to Krishna and some gopis went to Radha, and they started inquiring. Oh, Pyare, Sham Sundar, what happened? Why are you doing man? But Krishna couldn't think what to say. He didn't want to say, I have no reason for doing man. Or I was doing man for no reason, and since Pyari didn't ask me what was wrong, then I really became annoyed. And the gopis went and asked Radha, oh Radhe, you do man sometimes, but we didn't see what happened today. So Radha also just kept quiet. What could she say? Nothing happened. There was no reason for her man. So gopis became exasperated. They gave up. Normally when Radha is in man, gopis find some way of getting Krishna to re-ingratiate himself to Radha, and then Radha gives up doing her man and they get united. So gopis were trying to figure out, okay, how to break this man state of both of them. They couldn't figure it out. They gave up after hours of trying. And Radha and Krishna spent the whole night like that in man. And all of a sudden in the morning, at the very same moment, both of them had the same thought. Pyari thought, what am I doing? Why am I doing man? Poor Pyare. He must be wondering what's wrong with me. Why have I done this? And Krishna at the very same moment thought, what am I doing? Poor Radha. Why am I doing man? She hasn't even done anything wrong. So both at that same moment, at opposite ends of the kunj, had the same thought, stood up, and in their thoughts, as they were feeling this way, they were walking towards each other, and they almost bumped into each other in the middle of the kunj. Radha was coming to apologize to Krishna, and Krishna was coming to apologize to Radha, and then they just about bumped in, and then they said, oh, Pyare, I'm so sorry. I was doing man for no reason. And Krishna says, what? You were doing man for no reason? I was also doing man for no reason. Okay. And then they stopped doing man. So the gopis were saying, one gopi was telling another gopi about this happening, and she was saying, this is so amazing. They had the exact same thoughts at the exact same time. And the other gopi said, no, Gopi, this is not amazing because they're one and the same. Why is it so amazing that they would have the same thought at the same time? What's amazing is if they don't have the same thought at the same time. What's amazing is that even though they're one, they have different personalities. They behave differently. They even look differently. That's what's amazing. Them doing and thinking the same thing at the same time is only natural. So this is how we can understand the oneness between Shyama, Shyam. Now, even though they are one, remember I told you who is Radha on one hand is an easy question. You just say, she's Krishna, bas, baat, khatam. But on the other hand, answering this question is very difficult, because even if you ask Shri Krishna, okay, you say, who is Radha? The answer is, she is Krishna. So then you might say, okay, let's go ask Krishna who is Radha. He can't give the answer. Param dhan Radhe naam yadhar Jasu naam Murali mahaterat Sumirat barambar Param dhan Radhe naam yadhar Kotin roop dhare nand nandan Tau na payo par Param dhan Radhe naam yadhar. A Rasik saint is saying, Rasik saint means one who's attained the Premanand of Radha Krishna. This Rasik saint is saying the name of Radha is the supreme treasure of my soul. That name Radha is the same name that Krishna sings when he plays in his flute. He's only playing Radhe in his flute. And as he sings Radhe name in his flute, Sumirat barambar. He's just doing Roop Dhyan of Radha all the time. That Radhe is someone so special that even Shri Krishna cannot fathom who she is. Kotina Rupa Dhare Nandanandan. Shri Krishna trying to get close to Radha in different ways and have like different perspectives of who Radha is to try to get to know who is she. Kotina Rupa Dhare Nandanandan Tau na payo par. Even so, Krishna can't fully understand who Radha is. He takes many disguises. Sometimes he'll decide, today I'm going to disguise myself as a gopi who's selling flower malas. And then I'll come because the other gopis will see me and they know that Radha loves flowers and flower decorations, so they'll invite me to come and show all my different malas to Radha. Then I'll get to be close to Radha and she won't even know who I am. So maybe then I'll know, I'll be able to understand the depth of Radha's beauty and love. So Krishna dresses up with the help of some gopis as a beautiful Savari Sakhi, dark complexion gopi, carrying a basket of flower malas of different flowers, different lengths, different sizes. And he comes to the palace of Radha and starts calling out, oh, I have flower malas for sale. Anyone want flower malas? So the gopis go and tell Radha, oh, Radhe, one beautiful gopi has come selling flowers, flower malas. Do you want to see what she has? Oh, yes, yes, call her in. And then Krishna gets to come in and put let's say he has a small flower mala that fits on her wrist, so he gets to put that on her wrist. And as he does that, the touch of Radhe's hand puts him in an ecstatic, blissful state. Or he gets to put flowers, decorate Radha's hair with flowers, or put the different flower malas on her neck. So he tries all kinds of disguises like this to get close to Radha because he has this desire to know who is Radha. So you might say, well, Radha is Krishna. How could Krishna not know his own self, Radha? Well, there's a secret behind it. But that secret, you're going to have to come back tomorrow to hear all about it. Boliye Alabeli Sarkar ki. So, before we finish off with some kirtan and meditation, we'll have a short quiz, and then also if anyone has any questions tonight, we can have a little bit of question and answer. So as I'm quizzing you, just think if there are any questions that you want to ask. You'll get the chance in a minute. So, the quiz for tonight, let's review. Some of it will be review from yesterday as well. Who would like to tell me the 3 aspects of God, 3 main forms of Krishna? Raise your hand if you want to try. Yes. Brahm, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. Good. Okay, I'm going to pick on some of you now. Shailesh, tell me what are those 3? Brahm, Paramatma, Bhagwan. If you had to explain it in English, what's the difference?
Bhagwan is basically Sri Krishna, and then Paramatma is God in his majestic form.
Good.
And then Brahm is the formless God.
Good. Excellent. And does anybody remember what we call the 3 types of bliss? The bliss you get from Brahm, the bliss you get from Paramatma, and the bliss you get from Bhagwan. Ishan. Good. Brahmanand, Aishwaryanand, and Premanand. Correct. Okay, if somebody asks you, who is Radha? What's the easiest answer? You want to answer? What's the easiest answer? Yes, you. Krishna. That's right. She is none other than Krishna. But just saying that isn't the full story. Why isn't that the full story? If we just say Radha is Krishna. Yes.
He has a different personality altogether.
Say it a little.
Different personality.
Okay, that's a good point. They do, even though they're one, they do have different personalities. So Krishna is more active and naughty. Radha is more serene and quiet. They even look different. Radha is fair complexion. Krishna is dark complexion. But if we say, okay, Radha is Krishna, then that's not the full story. What was the reasoning I gave behind that? Although I left you hanging by saying there's a secret, but what was the thing I said? Okay, if Radha is Krishna, that's an easy answer. But why is it actually more difficult to answer who is Radha? That's right, because Krishna himself is not able to explain or even fully experience who Radha is, which is confounding to our mind because he himself is Radha. So to understand this secret, we'll have to have a lecture on that tomorrow. So does anyone have any questions based on yesterday's or today's topic? Anything you want clarified? Yes. Do we have the wireless mic? No, we have a wireless here. Give that to Ishan.
If Radha and Krishna are the same, why is it why can't you do Rup Dhyan to Radha in the same way that you can to Krishna?
Can't you?
But
You mean with Madhuri Bhav?
Madhurya Bhav, yeah.
Yeah, it's complex, but really, see, Radha, the feeling with Radha is more like she's our mother. You could also say sister or friend, but Maharaj, I always heard Maharajji teach to think of Radha in that way. So then, if you think of her as Krishna, then you can add in Madhurya Bhav. It's not a fully satisfying answer, but I think it's one of those we'll have to get to know more, Radha Krishna more through our experience to actually be able to understand why we don't teach to worship Radha with Madhurya Bhav. Yes, in the back.
Yesterday you said that I'll start with Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva.
Yes, that's also going to be part of tomorrow's lecture. Any other questions? Okay, let me. Oh, there's. Okay, go ahead.
It was just that. This is just like a clarification thing. I always thought the gopis were jealous of Radha because she was always with Krishna, but you were saying like they always tried to bring them back together. Whenever Radha would go into Man. That just kind of confused me because I thought the gopis, wanted to be with Krishna, and so like they would take advantage of, when Radha was ignoring him, right? I mean,
the gopis are like an extension of Radha and Krishna, you can say. Some are actually part of Radha and Krishna, technically speaking, and some are souls like you and me who became God realized, but even then they become a part of that divine realm, so to speak. So just like Radha can do Man with Krishna, and someone thinking of it in a material way, because it looks just like when someone gets annoyed with someone else in this world. So if we think of it in that material way, we get confused, thinking, okay, well, Radha and Krishna are God. How could they get annoyed with each other, right? But remember what I said, it's actually a manifestation of that supreme divine love state. So in divine love, there's 8 stages, 8 levels. So there's Prema Bhakti, Sneha Bhakti, Man Bhakti, Pranaya Bhakti, Rag Bhakti, Anurag Bhakti, Bhavavesh Bhakti, Mahabhav Bhakti. So Man Bhakti is one of those styles of the way that divine love power, that Premanand, reveals itself or expresses itself. So even if a gopi gets angry with Krishna, that anger is also just an expression, a different expression of that Premanand, maybe a higher level than when they're calm. So it's hard for us to interpret those leelas in a material way. So just know that, let's say a gopi is behaving jealously. That's also just an expression of their love for Radha and Krishna. And it's also to make the leela more exciting and interesting. Sometimes Radha behaves in a jealous way with some gopi that Krishna is with. And most of the leelas, the gopis are trying to bring Radha Krishna together. Or if Radha is doing Man, some of the gopis will be guarding the doors of her palace because she said, I don't want to see him today. Don't let him in. So they'll guard. And then other gopis will go and help Krishna, like, okay, let's make a plan. How can we like sneak you in, and then without Radha knowing it's you, you can make her laugh, and then she'll forget she's in Man. So there's just so many different ways for them to do the leelas. Yes?
So when Krishna was disguised as a gopi, like he touched Radharani, he was like near her, did she like feel his like presence? So like did she find out eventually like it was him?
Most of the time when that happens, she's amazed and she'll say something to one of the gopis like, this gopi is so beautiful. And she's looking and she's amazed, why am I so enthralled by the beauty of this gopi? And then after a while, she figures it out. Oh, it's Krishna, that's why. But it takes her a while. One time she didn't figure it out at all. There's another Leela Maharaji told, when Radha was doing Man one time, Maharaji said it was Bhayankar Man, like a really serious Man this time. So nothing was working. So finally, the gopis came up with a plan that, okay, Krishna will dress you up as kind of like a yogini or a sannyasini, a renunciate. And you can take this veena and go to Kusum Sarovar, because we know that when Radha is really doing man, she likes to go and pick flowers at Kusum Sarovar to take her mind off whatever is upsetting her. So Krishna went and sat on the bank of Kusum Sarovar with his veena and just posing in a way, kind of like, you know, someone's just like, I don't have a care in the world and I'm just so renounced from everything. So he was sitting there like this with his hand on his chin on his hand. And of course, when Radha came there, she was very curious to see such a beautiful woman sitting there and as a sannyasi. So she came and started talking to Krishna. And in the end, Radha decided, wow, this is a great opportunity. I can make her my guru. Because most gurus that I meet, they're men. So if I make her my guru, I can serve her very closely. I'll get that, like, such a great boon to serve her like that. So she said, you know, I want to make you my guru, and can I invite you back to my palace? And Krishna said, this was all part of his plan, by the way. He said, actually, I don't go to anybody's house. You know, what do I care for anyone or anything in this world? He's just acting completely renounced, even though his plan all along was she would invite him back to the palace. So he says, but I'll make an exception in your case, but I have one condition. I will only visit the home of the one who will do everything I say, follow my each and every agya. So Radha said, done. I'll follow any agya you give. So then when Krishna went back to the palace, then he just told Radha, I'm your guru, right? Yes, you're my guru. Then stop doing man and call Krishna to come here right away. So Radha said, okay. Then Krishna ran out the back and quickly changed out of that and back into his normal dress and came back in and met with Radha. So that time Radha never figured out that it was Krishna, because he averted his eyes. He just he kept his veil and he just kept looking here and there. So let us finish now with a few minutes of Nam Sankirtan. We can all do Roop Dhyan of these beautiful Leelas of Radha and Krishna. Jai Jai Shyama, Jai Jai Shyam, Jai 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 Braj Dham.
Jai Jai Shyama, Jai Jai Shyam, Jai 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 Braj Dham.
Jai Jai Shyama, Jai Jai Shyam, Jai 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 Braj Dham.
Jai Jai Shyama, Jai Jai Shyam, Jai 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 Braj Dham.
Jai Jai Shyama, Jai Jai Shyam,
Jai Jai Shyama, Jai Jai Shyam,
Jai 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 Braj Dham.
Jai 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 Braj Dham.
Jai जय 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 ब्रजधाम
जय जय श्यामा जय जय श्याम जय 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 ब्रजधाम
जय जय श्यामा जय जय श्याम जय 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 ब्रजधाम
जय जय श्यामा जय जय श्याम जय 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 ब्रजधाम
जय जय श्यामा जय जय श्याम
जय जय श्यामा जय जय श्याम
जय जय नाम रूप गुण धाम
जय जय नाम रूप गुण धाम
जय जय श्यामा जय जय श्याम Bolo Shyama Shyam Ki, Shrimat Sadguru Sarkar Ki, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe.
I want to thank you, Swamiji, again, for revealing Shri Radharani in front of us. A lot of us did not know who she is. Today, we got to know some of what she is. Tomorrow, there's a very interesting topic again.